Hello, my name is Ferenc Pintér. I am the mathematician who corrected many of your papers. You may have been familiar with each other already through those papers and references by colleagues. Words are the smallest meaningful units of a language. The pool of words has dividing walls which classify the words by their parts of speech. For each class, there are applicable rules for word manipulation. According to our terminology, having a certain part of speech means to belong to one of these word classes. The primary classification by parts of speech results in the main classes, which can be further divided into subclasses. The main class tags are the following: noun, pronoun, adjective, determiner, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. A simple way to classify words is to ask questions about them. There is a virtual problem with words like help, which can be used both as a noun and a verb. Actually, help has multiple meanings, which correspond to different entries in a dictionary. Each entry has its own part of speech. Examples: he helped me. He needed some help. The first entry contains help as a verb. The second one contains help as a noun. You may want to capitalize on this phenomenon. This means that you may attempt to use a noun as a verb and vice versa. As your passive vocabulary and language intuition increase, these attempts will succeed more frequently. The definite answers can be looked up in online dictionaries and via corpus searches. Now we go through the main classes and also discuss their subclasses. The first one in the discussion is noun. They are used for referring to persons, things, animals, places, events, and ideas. The applicable questions include who and what. There are three important binary subdivisions for nouns: proper versus common. Examples: Pacific Ocean versus exhibition. Now the next classification of nouns is into concrete and abstract nouns. Examples include computer as a concrete noun and computing as an abstract noun. We can point at a computer as an existing object, but we can only think about the notion of computing. We cannot point at it. Next classification is count versus mass. Countable nouns can be modified by cardinal numbers. So we can talk about 5 participants, but a mass noun like distance cannot be modified by a cardinal number. I would like to mention that distance is also measurable, but you have to use the appropriate measure word for that. You can talk about a distance of 5 kilometers. The next part of speech is pronoun, used for referring to a noun. The applicable questions include who, what, to whom, by what. And other examples: I, he, they, me, him, them, and what. The next class is called adjective. They are used for describing the quality of nouns. They answer what kind of questions. Examples include cozy and spacious. The next class is determiner. They are used for limiting a noun. Determiners are always placed before the nouns. Determiners are close relatives of adjectives As a matter of fact, we used to call determiners adjectives a few decades ago. The terminology of determiner emerged from linguistic studies more recently. You will understand the close relationship between adjectives and determinants after we list all subclasses of determiners. Article. The definite article limits the use of a noun to a particular occurrence. The definite article is the. The indefinite article limits the use of a noun to a general concept. The indefinite articles are a and an. Demonstrative. Demonstratives specify the nouns the speaker is pointing to. They answer which questions. Examples include this, that, these, those. Quantifier. Quantifiers estimate the amount of something. They answer how many, how much, or how few, how little questions. Recall the distinction between the count and the mass nouns. Corresponding examples include all, many, much, some, few, little. Note that cardinal numbers do not belong to quantifiers, they belong to a different part of speech. We will discuss a bit later. Possessive. Possessives describe belonging and membership. They answer whose questions. Examples: my, our, her, his, their. Cardinal and ordinal numbers. Cardinal numbers describe the exact quantity of something. They answer how many questions. Examples include 1, 2, 3, 22. Ordinal numbers describe the position of something within a list of items. They answer which questions. Examples include first, second, third, 22nd.